Be me, 23 years old. Been seeing this guy for about 7 months. Things are actually going really well. He is funny, kind, and good to me. Start thinking this might actually be something real. One night we are lying in bed together, feeling close and comfortable with him. Brain decides now is a great time to get curious. Start wondering about his romantic history. Specifically how many people he has been with before. Decide I should just ask him directly. Ask him casually what his body count is. Like it is a totally normal thing to ask right after being intimate. He pauses and looks at me a little surprised. Asks me why I want to know that. Tell him I am just curious. Say I think it is important to understand who I am with. He shifts a little and says he does not really track that number. Tell him everyone has at least a rough idea. He thinks for a moment. Says probably around 14 or so. Feel my stomach fall through the floor. 14 people. Ask him to confirm that is 14 total. He says yeah, over the years since college. Do the math and that is more than 2 per year. Tell him that seems like a lot honestly. He asks what I mean by a lot. Tell him I just expected something lower from him. He asks what number I expected. Tell him I do not know. Say it is just more than I pictured. He asks if it bothers me. Tell him I am just processing it. Ask if they were all relationships. He says some were relationships and some were more casual. Feel my stomach drop even further somehow. Ask him to break it down for me. He says roughly 6 were actual relationships, and the rest were just casual hookups. Tell him that is a lot of casual encounters. He gets a little defensive. Says they were not random strangers. Says he knew them all personally. Tell him it is still casual sex regardless. Say it tells me something about how he views intimacy. He asks what exactly it tells me. Tell him it suggests he does not value deep emotional connection. He looks genuinely hurt hearing that. Says that is not a fair thing to say at all. Says he was young and single and living his life. Tell him I am not judging, just observing. He says it very much feels like judging to him. Tell him I am allowed to have feelings about his past. Say I need this information to feel safe in our relationship. He asks how his past before me affects my safety. Tell him sexual history reveals someone's character. Say someone who sleeps around casually struggles to value real intimacy. He gets visibly upset at this. Says that is simply not true about him. Says he values what we have together. We go back and forth for a while. I keep pushing for more details. Ask if he still talks to any of them. He says he is on friendly terms with a couple. Feel jealousy hit me like a wall. Tell him that is weird and he should cut contact. He says they are just friends now and it was years ago. Tell him it is inappropriate to stay friends with former partners. He says I am being unreasonable. Tell him I am just expressing my feelings. We eventually go to sleep upset. But I cannot stop thinking about the number. 14 feels like so much for his age. Keep wondering what it says about his ability to commit. Next few days I am withdrawn and moody. He notices and asks what is wrong. Tell him I am still processing the number. He sighs and says he cannot change his past. Tell him I know, but I need time. He gives me space, but I can see his patience wearing thin. Bring it up again a few days later at dinner. Ask him if he regrets sleeping with that many people. He says no, he does not regret his experiences. Tell him that concerns me that he has no regrets. He asks why he should regret things he did while single. Tell him because casual sex is hollow without emotional connection. Say it demonstrates a lack of self-respect and depth. He puts his fork down, says this is becoming unreasonable. Tells me he was a single adult living his life. Tell him I am allowed to feel how I feel. He agrees but says I need to either accept it or say what I actually want. Says if this is a deal breaker, maybe we are not compatible. Feel panic rise immediately. Tell him I am not saying it is a deal breaker. He asks what I am saying then. Tell him I am just trying to understand who he is. He takes a breath, then asks me what my number is. Feel heat rush to my face instantly. Tell him that is completely different. He looks confused and asks how. Tell him because I asked him first and he agreed to answer. He says okay, so now he is asking me. Tell him I do not want to answer that. He asks why not if it was fair for me to ask him. Tell him my reasons for asking were about safety and understanding. Say his reasons for asking are probably to throw it back at me. He says that is exactly what I did to him. Tell him no, it is not the same at all. Say I was trying to understand his character. He says he is trying to understand mine then. Feel completely trapped. Do not know what to say? My number is higher than his and I know it. Finally mumble that mine is around 19. He looks genuinely surprised. Says, oh, okay. Feel defensive immediately. Tell him, so what if it is higher? Say it is different for women. He asks how it is different. Tell him women are allowed to explore their sexuality without judgment. Say men sleeping around is a different situation entirely. He says that is a textbook double standard. Tell him no, it is women reclaiming their sexuality. Say it is about empowerment, not comparison. He says I am applying completely different rules based on gender. Tell him yes, because gender dynamics are not the same. He says that is still a double standard no matter how I frame it. Tell him to stop judging me for my number. He says he is not judging. Says he is just asking the same question I asked him. Reminds me I spent 3 days being upset and distant over his 14. Now I am angry he asked about my 19. Tell him yes, because his question comes from a different place. He asks what different place. Tell him his comes from wanting to shame me. Say mine came from wanting to know if he values real intimacy. He says that makes no sense. Start crying and tell him he is making me feel bad. Say I cannot believe he is judging my past. He looks exhausted. Says he is not judging me. Says he is pointing out that I did the exact same thing to him. Tell him it is not the same when I did it. He asks me to explain how it is different. I cannot come up with a clear answer. Just cry harder. Tell him he does not understand what it is like. He asks what it is like. Tell him to be judged for your sexuality as a woman. He says I literally just spent days judging him for his sexuality. Tell him that was different. Say I was processing information for my emotional safety. He asks how many times I am going to say different. Tell him until he understands my situation is not the same. He gets up and says he needs air. Walks outside. I sit alone at the table crying quietly. When he comes back, he is calm. Asks if we are okay. Tell him I do not know. Say I feel attacked by him asking me one question. He says he asked one question after I asked him the same. Tell him my reasons were valid. He asks me to explain my valid reasons clearly. Say I needed to know for my emotional safety. He says okay, so I needed to know for the same reason. Tell him no, because women are more vulnerable in relationships. Say we need to understand men's past to protect ourselves. He asks protect from what exactly? I cannot articulate a clear answer. Just say he would not understand. We sit in silence for the rest of dinner. He pays and we drive home without speaking. Can feel how frustrated he is. But I still think he was wrong to ask me back. When we get home, he says he needs to think. Says he does not understand my reasoning. Tell him he is supposed to support me, not challenge me. He says he does support me, but says this feels like hypocrisy to him. Tell him it is not hypocrisy. Say it is different standards for different situations. He says different standards based on gender is literally what hypocrisy looks like. Start crying and tell him he is being cruel. He says he is being honest, not cruel. Go to the bedroom and cry. He stays in the living room. Text my best friend everything that happened. She says men always do this, so judgmental. Tell her the twist though. Tell her his number was actually lower than mine. She goes quiet for a second. Asks how much lower. Tell her he had 14 and I have 19. She says, "Oh, that is actually a significant difference." Tell her the number does not matter. Say what matters is the intention behind asking. Tell her I asked to understand his values. Say he asked just to throw it back at me. She says maybe he asked for the same reason I did. Tell her no men do not need that information for safety. She says this sounds like a double standard, honestly. Cannot believe even my friend is seeing his side. Few days pass and things stay cold between us. He finally sits me down and says we need to talk. Tells me he has been thinking a lot. Says he feels I applied an unfair standard to him. Tell him I did not apply an unfair standard. He says I judged him for 14 people. Then refused to answer the same question. Then got upset when he asked it anyway. Say it is different when women have higher numbers. He asks me one more time to explain how. Tell him women exploring sexuality is empowerment. Say men doing the same is not. He says that is sexist and I know it. Tell him you cannot be sexist against men. Say that is not how power dynamics work. He looks at me for a long moment. Says he does not think we are compatible. Feel panic flood through me. Ask him what he means. He says if I cannot see the double standard in what I did. Says we have a fundamental disagreement about fairness. Start crying and beg him not to end things over this. Tell him I am sorry and I see his point now. He says he does not think I actually see it. Says I am just saying what he wants to hear. Ask him what specifically he needs me to acknowledge. Stumble trying to explain. Realize in the moment I do not actually think I was wrong. Just trying to save the relationship. He can tell the apology is not genuine. Says he needs some time away to think. Asks if he can stay at his friend's place for a bit. Feel devastated and beg him not to go. He says it is not only about the numbers. Says it is about the unequal standard I held him to. Says he cannot accept that kind of unfairness in a relationship. Packs a bag while I cry. He leaves and I am alone. Text my friend and tell her he left. She asks if I genuinely admitted the double standard. Tell her I tried but I do not think I was wrong. She says then yeah, he is probably done. Tell her that is not fair. Say I was just asking a normal question. She says I asked then judged him. Then got mad when he asked the same question back. Just say it is different for women. She says whatever you say. Sit alone wondering how it all fell apart. I just wanted to know about his past. Never thought he would ask me back. Feel like he should have just answered and moved on. Feel like women should be allowed to ask without being asked in return. Realize I probably cannot get him back without genuinely admitting it, but I still do not think I was wrong. Our pasts mean different things because of gender and power. A month passes. He tells me he thinks we should officially break up. Says he cannot be with someone who holds him to a different standard. Feel devastated and angry at the same time. Tell him he is throwing away something real over one conversation. He says it was not one conversation. Says it was several days and multiple arguments. Says it showed him something real about how I view fairness. Tell him I view fairness through the lens of gender and power. He says that is exactly the problem. Says he views fairness as equal treatment between people. Tell him equal is not the same as equitable across genders. He says this is precisely why we cannot work. We officially end things. I am heartbroken. Think about how all I did was ask a simple question. Never expected him to turn it around on me. Feel like I was treated unfairly for having standards, but somewhere in the back of my mind, a small voice says something uncomfortable. Says that asking questions means being ready for the same questions back. Says judging someone's past means accepting judgment of your own. Says different rules based on gender is just hypocrisy with better vocabulary. Says sometimes you cry when he asks yours back after judging his.